There are some stages in life where a person is going to be invariably busy and under great demands. For example, a mother or a stay-at-home dad of young children, or say you're in your medical residency, or you're a surgeon in a very specialized area and you just are understaffed. But for many of us, we can simplify our lives. And for many of us, including myself, we tend to add. And so I began to create a rule of life or a rhythm of life, a trellis that supported my friendship with Jesus. What did that trellis look like? And so here's something that I've learned that actually makes a difference in a person's everyday work world. You may not have a lot of time to pray for a prolonged period in any given day, but if you have a simple rhythm of prayer, even if it's pausing briefly in the morning to meditate, and then perhaps setting the chime on your watch to remind you to direct your attention to God on the hour, you can experience your whole day as a prayer. Benedict taught that to pray is to work, and to work is to pray. And Benedict believed that if you had some kind of rhythm of prayer, even if it was simple, when you went out to the fields to work, when you did something that was honoring to God, even if that wasn't overtly spiritual, that act of work was an act of devotion and therefore an act of prayer. And so if we can have a simple rhythm of prayer, we can see our everyday work, whether it's in the office, raising children, teaching, studying, as prayer. Well, one of the most important practices, one of the most important components of my rhythm or rule of life is keeping a 24-hour Sabbath each week. Sabbath gave me an opportunity to pray, but to also engage in activities that were truly life-giving. Abraham Heschel wrote a great book on the Sabbath called A Sanctuary in Time. And I feel like when I'm done work, I can really be present to my wife and our 5-year-old boy who's just begun kindergarten. On Sabbath, I feel like I could be present to God, my friends, because I'm not worrying about work. I am experiencing a holy kind of time, a sanctuary in time. One of the most helpful parts of my own simple rhythm or rule of life is to take some time each morning to meditate. By nature, I'm a very easily distracted person. At any given time, I can feel like there are 1,000 chimpanzees jumping around in my mind. And so typically sometime in the morning, I'll simply sit for maybe just 10 minutes and I'll breathe deeply. And because I'm so easily distracted, I'll use a simple word like wait that I'll repeat, wait, or Jesus, Jesus, to focus me. I find that what is most fruitful for me is to take a shorter passage of scripture, to read it, to reflect on it, to let it evoke certain feelings and perhaps even inspire certain images in my imagination, and to stay with that passage for maybe a few days, perhaps even a few weeks, and to pray it back to God, perhaps memorize it. And there's something about this practice that causes the scripture to move from my head to my heart, that causes the scripture to take root in me and to become part of me and change me. At the end of my simple meditation, I tend to feel more relaxed, a little more focused throughout the day, and a little more conscious of Jesus.